In February, I established a high-level working group to review the issues associated with implementing a repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell law, and to develop recommendations for implementation should the law change. At the same time, I directed the department to conduct a review of how the military implements the current policy, and within 45 days, present to me recommended changes that would enforce the existing law in a fairer and more appropriate manner. Today, I have approved a series of changes to the implementation of the current statute. The changes are as follows. We will raise the level of the officer who is authorized to initiate a fact-finding inquiry or separation proceeding regarding homosexual conduct. We will revise what constitutes credible information to begin an inquiry or separation proceeding by, for example, specifying that information provided by third parties should be given under oath, and by discouraging the use of overheard statements and hearsay. We will revise what constitutes a reliable person, upon whose word an inquiry could be initiated, with special scrutiny on third parties who may be motivated to harm the service member. Finally, certain categories of confidential information will no longer be used in support of discharges, including information provided to lawyers, clergy, and psychotherapists, information provided to a medical professional in furtherance of medical treatment or a public health official in the course of a public health inquiry, information provided in the course of seeking professional assistance for domestic or physical abuse, and information obtained in the course of security clearance investigations in accordance with existing Department of Defense policies. In effect, this means that all separations from this point forward will take place under the revised regulations. The work of the Department of Defense Working Group chaired by Mr. Johnson and General Carter Ham continues. As I told the Congress in February, I am determined that we in the Department carry out the President's directive on Don't Ask, Don't Tell in a professional and thorough way. Every case that is currently still open will be dealt with under these new regulations, so they will be reinitiated by a flag rank officer. A person who is in the process can opt out of that, can in effect say, I want to have the proceedings carried forward under the new regulations in terms of what kind of information can be allowed, but I don't want to start the whole process over. But that's up to the service member who is involved in the proceeding. But I do not recommend a change in the law before we have completed our study. There is a great deal we don't know about this in terms of the views of our service members, in terms of the views of their families and influencers. There is a lot we have to address in terms of what would be required in the way of changed regulations, in terms of benefits. There are a lot of unanswered questions in terms of the implementation of this proposed change in the law. I think we need to do this thoroughly and professionally. I think we need to do this right, if you will, and I think doing it hastily is very risky, and I think does not address some of the concerns that have been expressed by the chiefs of staff of the services and a number of the questions that have been raised associated with this.
And I would just echo what the Secretary said. I think it's very important for us to go through this process, and doing it with haste could easily generate a very bad outcome. So understanding where we are, having that information from those it will affect most, it is a very important part of this process.
This study is not about should we do it. This study is about how would we do it